Alright, we're going to do question 3 here, looking at high school football and the number of head injuries in that. And we're going to assume this is a random sample of 10 different years, had a mean number of 7.23 injuries, and we are asked to predict a 99% confidence interval for the mean number of annual head injuries. So that tells us right away that we need a confidence interval for this, and 7.23, that is a mean. So we know we are dealing with means. If we go to Grandma's Best Recipes, we have two scenarios that deal with means. One uses a z, one uses a t, and in order to decide which, we need to know whether we have the population standard deviation or not. And if we don't have the population standard deviation, then we should have the sample. If we go back to the question, 2.05 is our standard deviation, and that refers to the sample of 10. So 2.05 is the sample standard deviation, and in that case we would use a t-test. So the formula here that we want a 99% confidence interval. We are given a sample mean of 7.23 and a sample standard deviation of 2.05 with a sample size of 10. And the formula, according to Grandma's Recipes, is that we take x bar plus or minus t star times s over root n. Now this would look very similar if this was a sigma, the population standard deviation. The only difference would really be in how we get this value. So we'll start off with the easy stuff. X bar is 7.23. Plus or minus, we'll come back to t star. Next we'll plug in the s is 2.05 and the sample size is 10. So all we need here is what t star goes with a sample size of 10 and a 99% interval. And since the sample size is 10, the degrees of freedom would be 10 minus 1, which is just 9. So go to Grandma's Recipes, or sorry, the t-table. We're looking in the row for 9 and looking for 99% confidence, which is right here at 3.250. If I'm reading that correctly, 99% and 9. So at 3.250, we'll plug that in, and we should get, and double check this, 7.23 plus or minus 2.11, which would tell us that we are 99% confident